Prime Structures Engineering Private Limited exists to change city skylines, and their mission is to offer comprehensive building envelope solutions, including consultation, design, construction, and maintenance services. PSE has presence in Singapore, Philippines, Indonesia, Brunei, and Sri Lanka, and aims to add value to all stakeholders through a customized approach and efficient engineering.
My name is Sunny. Full name is Sunny Bensley. I come from a mixed parentage. My father is Indian, Malayali, and my mom is Chinese. I actually grew up in Penang, Malaysia. I have altogether 3 sisters, and I'm the only son in the family. Yeah? So the first 6 years of my childhood was, I would say, quite blessed. Father had a job, a civil servant, but my father also had a side business, doing some construction works, running a canteen and all that. Because in Malaysia, being enterprising and it's also a civil servant has some restriction. So he actually trusted somebody to be the so-called official owner of the company while he's managing everything at the back, And at the age of 6 years old, my father's business actually so-called I would say went bankrupt, Not so much of the business, but I think his friend played him out, And we were living at sometimes from hand to mouth, I can see that, And I see my mom actually working very hard because my father have lost his business, So my mom used to support the family's income, so-called by cooking food. I used to carry a basket, going around to construction site, to sell so-called these Chinese cakes and all that. One thing I learned a lot from my father, typical for him, is the importance of education. He emphasized a lot to us that you must study hard, At the age of 12, I become like the head of the family because my father and my mother had some big quarrel, and my elder sister was sent to India, to be brought up by my grandma in India. So my father used to work, running 2 jobs, and I used to, even a 13-year-old boy, I would do all the marketing and I'll come back and cook for my 2 sisters and all that. But I would say that childhood actually made me grow up much faster than a lot of my so-called cohorts. But one thing, what my father has told me, impressed upon me when I was a child, he told me there's no such thing as lucky. So he said to spell lucky, it is W-O-R-K-H-A-R-D. That means you work hard, eventually you'll be lucky, So with that kind of understanding, I actually so-called grew up. My father actually came to Singapore first at the age of 14, to work in Singapore. Then from there he settled down in Penang, So he knew, or somehow he understood, that Singapore is a place where there's plenty of opportunity if you're willing to work hard, So so he gave me the blessing to come to Singapore. And like any other things, he tried his best, and he said, son, I give you $300 and that's it. So I came to Singapore with only $300. I was blessed that Singapore government gave me bursary, So that helped me on my education to meet my expenses. I got admitted into Singapore University. We were the first batch of NTU from Nanyang, or NTI then, first batch of student, and I got into engineering. I was very fortunate when I was growing up in Penang. One of the uncle, I would say, as a young boy, I had a mentor. Okay, I think it's called his name is Uncle Francis, So somehow he and my dad, share the same belief that one get to be in business, Then I asked him, Uncle Francis, what should I do? You know, so he said, okay, Sonny, if I were you, you know, you carved up your career into 3 parts. The first part is after graduation. You know, what do you do after your graduation? He said that in the first part of that, you join a company that actually you can learn a lot of things. Put the monetary, what they pay you aside, all right? You don't look for a company that pay you a lot of money, all right? Look for someone that actually a company that can actually, you can learn a lot of things, you know? So because you want to learn as much as possible so that if in your second phase of business, second phase of life, where you get the business, you have already learned what needs to be learned. So likewise, actually, I work for this company called Wachang Engineering. Wachang Engineering, by the way, if you know this company, the parent company owns Banyan Tree. Yeah, so I learned a lot in that company. I was there for 3.5 years. And the first phase, 3.5 years working in this construction company, I decided, yes, I know if I want to do in a business, I must start to do some management and marketing. And fortunately, a very, 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 very small company actually offered me a job, you know, to be so-called a sales engineer, you know, because this company gave me an opportunity to do marketing, which is very important because in business you must be able to market, you know. So I joined them as a marketing engineer. Then 3 years after I joined the company, the department that I was working for, the business actually grown quite a lot. And I was very fortunate, the boss gave me an opportunity to actually grow the company. And from a marketing engineer, then I became a contract engineer, the contract manager, then become a general manager. 3 years after I joined them, they actually, the department, they converted into a subsidiary, all right? So that when they formed the subsidiary, I was made a director of that subsidiary. So I worked there for another, total in the subsidiary for another 3.5 years. After 10 years, which I said, remember with the uncle, I need to build my life into 3 segments. I have actually, I'm ready to start my own business, you know. So in 1995, we started our own business. We started from a very, 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 very humble beginning, you know. When I started the company, I had only had about 3 employees. I tell you, the challenges is like anything else. We always face challenges. Every phase of the growth of the company, there has always been challenges. But I think what's important is what is our attitude towards these challenges, you know. Challenges will come, so you got to face it up front, you know. Each time you fall, you got to stand up and move on, you know. So the business has actually grown, you know, in a big scale. So I went on to finish the Changi Airport Terminal 3, and then after that we went on to the next milestone where we did the Marina Bay Sands, you know. I'm sure Singapore, you know Marina Bay Sands, actually the 3 towers, the ship on top of the 3 towers, all the cladding for the underside of the ship was done by our company. That was actually again another turning point, because after Marina Bay Sands job, it gives us a lot of confidence because it was an international job. And I say all glory goes to God, and also I'm very fortunate that I have very good team work in my whole office, you know. And one of the things I also so-called, I believe that staff that can play together will stay together, you know. So if you look at it, our company so-called staff our retention is very, very high. Okay, many of our staff stay with us very long. I, for one, I believe family is very, very important, right? If you don't get your family fixed properly, no matter what success you got is meaningless, right? I always remember somewhere I wrote that success is meaningless if you have no one to share it with, right? So I always put that in my mind that I think I must get the family always together, you know. Work hard, you know, and then believe in whatever you do. Go through all the challenges, success will be yours. Always do the right thing, okay? Even your client doesn't know about it, but you must believe that you have to always do the right thing, all right? So that at least at home, when you sleep, you have no fear that, you know, something will come back to you.